All right, YouTube, and welcome back to Fern Valley Farms YouTube channel. On this channel, we are pure country. All right, this is for all you horse people out there. Most of you know this, but there's new people that are just getting into horses or not quite familiar with this. But this right here is a new load of hay. Boy, if you could smell this, boy, does it smell good. I love the smell of fresh hay. It's great. You can see how green this hay is. Whenever you get new hay, like I said, this is for the new horse people. Um, Whenever you get a new load of hay, it's pretty rich. And you can see how green this hay is. You don't want to, if you're feeding last year's hay, that's fine. But when you get your new hay, don't just feed them. Let me rephrase that. This is what I don't do. I do not just throw them brand new hay. You've been feeding last year's hay, you're fine. You get a new load of hay. I don't give the same amount of the new hay as I do the stuff I've been feeding. Why? Because this is a lot richer. This is brand new. This was just cut like a week ago. I'm trying to get it all stacked. I've got more coming. This is actually first cutting hay. First cutting means when the hay first comes up of the year, that's your first cutting. Second and third cutting are usually a lot richer than first cutting. It's kind of like when you cut your grass for the first time. It's a little stalky. And then when you cut it again, it's nice and bright and green. Hay's kind of the same way. Your first cutting of hay can be a little stalky. Then once it's cut and then they recut it again, then it's really, really rich. Some hay's got alfalfa in it. Some is just pure grass. This hay here is a mixture of grass and some alfalfa. You don't want to feed horses a lot of alfalfa. If you do feed them alfalfa or you have no choice, you got to be careful with it because it's really, really rich, and you can colic them. Pretty simple, or pretty easy, I should say. So you want to be careful with if you have to feed alfalfa. You can't feed a lot of it. And one way you'll know if your horse is eating too much alfalfa, it's not agreeing with them, they'll have the runs. Their piles will be really, really watery and liquidy, and that's not good. If you see that, you need to back off on your hay a little bit. So you're much safer with grass, a grass hay actually. Some alfalfa is fine, but you're a lot safer if you're feeding just grass hay only or grass hay with some alfalfa. I like to do a little bit of a mix. I don't mind a half and half grass, half alfalfa. Generally, it doesn't come. It won't come out that way. Usually, it's more grass with alfalfa in it, and that's fine. Alfalfa's got a lot of protein. It's good for them. The grass, like I said, is a lot safer for them. You could feed more of it. Another problem with feeding straight alfalfa, you can't give them much, especially in the wintertime when they're inside and there's not a whole lot to do because it's really bad weather. They'll eat it in like a half hour and they're done. Feeding a grass hay is a lot nicer. Not only is it safer for them, it gives them something to do, especially in the wintertime if they're cooped up in their stalls because it's snowing and icy or whatever. Depending on where you live, like we do up here, the grass hay will keep them busy for a couple hours, and like I said, it's a lot safer for them. So if you can feed a grass hay, I'm not telling you what to do. This is what I do. I prefer a grass hay with some alfalfa in it. It's a lot safer for them. Like I said, if you can't get grass, you got to feed alfalfa. That's fine. Just be careful with it. Break them into it really slow. Don't just throw it. Just don't throw them your normal amount of hay because you could colic them. I'll do a video on colic. That's a whole different subject. But anyways, the whole point of this video is this is brand new hay. I'm not feeding this yet. They're out on pasture now. So I'm feeding still some of last year's hay. And if you look at last year's hay compared to this year's hay, you could see the difference, the brightness and the greenness, I guess, how much brighter it is, how much greener it is. You can really smell this too. I love the way this smells. If you can only smell it. I know that sounds weird. So anyways, yeah, so when you get brand new hay, don't just give them the full amount that you normally do because you could colic them. You might not, but you might. So just to be safe, just don't do it. Break them into it. And it doesn't take long to break them into it. Just give them maybe what I would do, or what I do, I should say. If normally I feed, let's say, 3 flakes of regular hay, I might give them 2 small flakes of this. The next day, another 2 small flakes. Check their piles. One good way to see if a horse's system is adjusting well to the new hay, let's just say, is their piles. If their manure is really watery and liquidy and runny, they're not adjusting well. If it's solid, if it's bright green and solid, they're doing okay. But you still got to be careful. So if you feed, let's say, 3 flakes of normal hay of last year's hay, maybe feed them 2 flakes for a couple of days of the new hay, and then throw them the 3 flakes. Or, 3 light flakes. Just break them into it is my whole point. That's all you want to do. And like I said, check their manure pile. If the piles are green but solid, you're okay. If they're really watery and liquidy, you might want to back off just a little bit. Same thing with feeding with feed, and that's another subject too. Actually, I'm going to do on grains and protein. So, anyways, like I said, just be safe. You don't have to. I'm not telling you what to do, but that's what I do. Just be safe with new hay. Break them into it. Let them adjust to it, and you're good to go. I got this load. There's about 150 bales here. I've got 300 more coming. That'll be second cutting, which will be even richer than this. This is first cutting, and this is pretty nice stuff, actually. It's pretty green. It's a little stalky, and that's typical for first cutting. Second cutting will be a lot nicer, a lot finer looking hay. And like I said, anybody that's done hay before knows exactly what I'm talking about. So I'll do a video when I get my second load of my load of second cutting, which probably be, if it ever stopped raining and dry out, it might be another couple of weeks. So I need to get this stacked, and then I'll get 300 more bales soon, and I'll show you the difference. You can see this. You can see the difference in the piles. So, anyways, like I said, the whole point of this story is break them into new hay. Don't just throw new hay at them like you've been feeding your old hay, because you could possibly make them sick, and you don't want that. Colic is a bad thing. Vet bills, everything. Your horse could die. I hate to be blunt, but it could. If you get colic bad enough, it could kill them, and you don't want that, obviously. So just be safe with your hay. Just be safe with your. It's like breaking horses in the grass in the spring. Be safe with that too. So, anyways, that's it. Hopefully you like this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Subscribing to the channel is always appreciated. If you do subscribe, there's a little bell next to the subscribe button. Click that little bell. You will get notified next time I make a video, or every time I make a video. So I'm going to get back to getting this hay stacked, and I will do an update video on the second cutting of hay, and you can see the difference in that. So like I said, just be careful with your hay. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.